Introduction, background of study. Human consumption regardless of race and social position plays a large role in climate change. Human consumers must be aware of how their daily consumption and decisions affect the climate and the ecosystem. Problem statement. Data of individual consumerism habits should be collected to find out the factors of consumerism activity. A data collection strategy should be designed to record the goods purchased. The carbon footprint of all purchases should be recorded. Objectives: to collect data of individual consumerism habits and lifestyle, to justify the choosing of country for benchmarking and discuss the meaning behind the data, to benchmark and analyze the data we collected from Malaysia and other countries.
The second thing is the literature review. First of all, what is a consumer lifestyle? Consumer lifestyle is the participation in groups, activities, hobbies, volunteer activities, commitments to certain behaviors, and product constellation. Secondly, what are the lifestyle goods? Lifestyle goods are goods that attempt to embody the values, aspirations, interests, attitudes, or opinions of a group or a culture for marketing purposes. Lifestyle brands seek to inspire, guide, and motivate people with the goal of their products contributing to the definition of the consumer's way of life. What is a consumption pattern? Consumption pattern is a way of using, eating, or drinking something that's used or the amount that's bought and used. Some examples are consumption of fuel, energy, consumption of fruit and vegetables, and consumption of junk food, and domestic and home consumption.
Carbon footprint calculation. Calculating the carbon footprint is fundamental to understand how an organization's or individual's activities impact global sustainability.
So here is the most important part for calculating the carbon emission, which is the boundaries or the scope. We have 3 scopes. So in order to calculate the carbon emission, you have to know in which scope or boundaries you are in to get the conversion factor. If you know you are in which scope, it's easy to get the conversion factor, which is really facilitate the calculation of CO2 emission by multiplying activity data expressed in their respective unit to convert it into kilograms of carbon dioxide equivalent. So for example here, if we want to get the conversion factor of electricity, we know it's from scope 2, and which is 0.22.
Scientific manner is method of research in which a problem is identified, relevant data are gathered, a hypothesis is formulated from this data, and the hypothesis is empirically tested. Observation is the first step for solve the problem, and the question somehow like the trigger idea, because from that can make good hypothesis. Researcher need to predict what will happen based on the hypothesis, so the test can be held. And the way of presenting data is the crucial one, because we need to consider which is suitable with the data to attract reader to understand on the presenting. For instance, the data can be presented in text, diagrammatic, and tabulation, and they have their own advantage and disadvantage to manage data smoothly.
Collection and data analysis. Data means information. It makes the information easier to read and understand. Data collection is a process of gathering and measuring information on targeted variables in an established systematic fashion, which then enables one to answer relevant questions and evaluate outcome. Methodology. The first one is questionnaire, which is the most useful method to collect information from a large number of people in a short period of time. The second one is observation, to collect the data of types of transportation they use and the food they consume for a week. Finally, data through internet, which is the fastest and easiest way to collect data. Fourth, categorization, to collect specified information about certain topics.
Here is the equation in order to calculate the carbon emission for the food, transportation, electricity, and water. After collecting data for the Malaysian family, the graph shows that the food has the first place for the emission, second the transportation, then the electricity, lastly the water. Here is the graph for UTM students, shows that the first place is the food, as same as the Malaysian family, followed by the electricity, then the transport, lastly the water.
When coming to benchmarking, the countries included were chosen based on their cultural, social, and economic differences. The 3 countries that were benchmarked with Malaysia were Saudi Arabia, Germany, and USA. And as shown in the graph and table above, there were common differences in the consumption pattern and the household expenditure and household carbon dioxide emission, and this was caused by many internal and external factors such as household income, household size, inflation rate, interest rate, saving rate, cultural and social skills.
Underlying factors in consumerism habits and lifestyles need to be aware and change it to become more green consumerism. The aim of sustainable development is to make continuous growth in economy and in the same time still take care on environment and societal needs. Staying on track, the 7 goal targets in sustainable development still on making, and everyone must take responsibility to change their behavior and lifestyle as consumers.